I'm in a little bit of shadow, so I hope you all can see me. I also have incredible amounts of flyaways, and I hope you're going to be nice about that too. I am taking a break from the center because even though I love the center, it is a little airless because I don't have windows. So I decided to take a break. I'm out here in my truck. You know, there is a lot to say about community, and I am writing the series about community, and I can't wait to share it with you. But one of the things I wanted to talk about a lot was about the communities that are out there that are serving Hesed Heart, and they don't even call it that. I get it all the time. People say a lot of the time that you cannot create durable community in an almost exclusively online format. I would like to think that in the almost 5 years of curating and serving you all with Lace on Race, that we've proven that to be false. People still are skeptical and they still have questions about that. So I wanted to talk a little bit about durable community in an online space. It is absolutely possible. There are two communities that have nothing to do, at least on the face of it, with social justice. But in their own ways, they are absolutely revolutionary. The first one is a group for people who like a very specific grocery store, Aldi, to be exact. I'm in a couple of those groups. And when I want to be reminded that there are still kind people, that there are people who show up for each other and root each other on, I go to those communities. They give each other flowers. They give flowers to strangers. They give flowers to clerks. They make sure that everybody gets a quarter so that they can get a shopping cart at Aldi. They'll post pictures of things that they got in what we call the Aldi Aisle of Shame. And everybody, well, almost everybody, is affirming and wonderful. There are people who show up with their outfit of the day. There are people who show up with their egg chairs. And if you are part of the Aldi Aisle of Shame, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There are people who talk about the first time that their child gave someone flowers and someone cried and they got to talk about it. They talk about when their child tried to give someone flowers and someone said, no, thank you. And being the one to talk to their kids about the disappointment of that and how that doesn't mean you stop. Okay, I think I found the lighting. I'm going to try to hold my hand steady. These people over time have gotten to know each other. They've gotten to be able to see what community looks like. And sometimes that community looks like showing off their 12 cans of Aldi salsa. And sometimes it looks like my mom died and I gave someone flowers in her memory. And 5,000 people give it likes and thumbs up and comments. And it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. There's another wonderful group that I'm a part of. It is basically a bunch of women like me. We're mostly middle-aged, and we all have our kind of acolytes of this British fashion monger. And we show off our outfits and we talk about the cosmetics that we used. And it's almost inspiring me to start doing a few makeup and grooming videos of my own. Oh my goodness. The affirmation. I haven't posted in ever and here it is. And people look and are kind. I wonder what kind of earrings would look best with this dress. And she gets 600 responses, all of whom are saying, you're rocking the dress, but you know. Let me tell you what I think a pair of drop hoop gold earrings would do for that dress. People give instruction and correction, but all in love. And it goes without saying. The group that frankly gives me the most joy. Two groups, really. The first one is where the center is housed. For those of you who don't know, we are housed on a church campus. That does not mean that we are affiliated, but they are welcome hosts and they give us cut rate rent, and it's wonderful. I think one of the best things about being here over the last year is that I get to be part of the life of that church. So there's nothing better than coming in and Scott is just beaming at me because he knows I'm going to walk into the center and I'm going to smell orange oil because he just cleaned my office. Or Alicia, who tells me about the latest going-ons, but also tells me a little bit about herself. I have a little window on my door, and so people will sometimes come in and they'll just wave. Sometimes when I'm on a video or on a call, but I wave back every time. And then there's the group of women who have stood by me for the last 2 years. My leadership team and staff, who cajole me and admonish me and tell me about myself, but all with the epitome of Hesed heart, some of which I taught them, but a lot of which I didn't. Y'all, I want y'all to have that too. I want you to have that too. What is the common denominator of these 4 groups that I just told you about? They're in the game with each other. They're on the field with each other. You do not get to create and partake in the mystical alchemy of community unless you're willing to risk. That always gets me. When people are asked in surveys or in other spaces what they hope for in their lives, almost inevitably, it's community. They want it. They want people who will be there for them. They want people who will be able to see. But I want to be serious for a little bit. As much as people say that they want community and that they want to be seen and known, that longing is often countered by fear of being known, by fear of truly being seen. And I think that's a lot with Lace on Race. People know that if they comment or if they respond, I will see them. And they're not entirely sure of what they're going to get from me or my leadership team and staff or their fellow community members. Put another way, they're not sure they trust what I'm selling. I hope that those of you who have been reading or watching me for a while know what you're gonna get. I am not only fairly boring, I'm also fairly predictable, which is a salty way of saying I'm reliable and consistent. Kind candor is not just a brand extension for me. It really is who I am and how I teach. If you want community, though, with me, you have to bring down your force field, bring down your moat, and allow yourself to be seen and known and penetrated. I'm going to pivot for a little bit because when I had been thinking about making this video about communities that are doing it, even when they don't know they're doing it, I think about other communities, like the community of people who have been rather less than kind to Lace on Race in general and to me in particular. Apparently, there are groups of them, a group that talks about this. Every time I see that these days, especially if you go on Twitter and you can see them talking about me or talking about Lace on Race, I think about what that group might look like. And I wonder what it would be like to be a fly on the wall, listening to them all. And then I think, I'm glad I'm not. Because guess what? You are the company that you keep. And you are your thought life. I go to places where I know that my thought life will be buttressed and reinforced, that where I can become the woman I say that I want to be. This is so important, y'all. There's no way that I can become the person I say I want to be when I am, frankly, filling my frontal cortex with toxic waste. There's no way that I can do that. I'm in my truck right now, and in my truck there is a CD by Point of Grace. It's a good 20 years old by now, maybe even older. And I have that thing on repeat. Sometimes I'll go on to my playlist, but for the most part, the default is Point of Grace. So it's in my head all the time. It would be different if I were playing something else. Because even when I'm thinking about other things or I'm talking to someone in the passenger seat and I'm not really listening to the music is still getting in. See, here's the thing. I talk about getting it in, so that you can live it out. But things are getting in anyway. It's not that if you don't get in what I'm offering you at Lace on Race, that nothing will get in. This is not about being a neutral blank slate, because nobody is. You are influenced, and you are influencers. So it is doubly important that you be mindful of what you consume and also mindful of what you put out. The 4 groups that I mentioned, the church staff that has loved on me for the last year, my own leadership team, the Aldi Hall of Shame, and the Trini Tribe. You know, by themselves, they don't mean much. But like I said, they're revolutionary. I know that a lot of you, particularly post the Supreme Court decision, want to go out and march and scream. But you can't do that well. You can't do that well. You can't be effective in durable and long-lasting ways unless you learn how to be in community. None of the issues that are currently extant can be fought alone. And you need to learn how to do it well and with intention and with Hesed heart. I hope that you will allow both me and Lace on Race to help you get to the person you say you want to be, using the tools we provide and the models that I hope will be both beneficial and thoughtful. If you like what you're seeing, if you like what you're reading, make sure that you click the like and subscribe button and that you share. Also, if you want to support the work of Lace on Race and the Lace on Race Center for Racial Equity, you can be sure to go to the Facebook page or to the website to find ways that you can partner with us. I love you guys so damn much. And I want for you what I have found. We're going to talk more about why I created Lace on Race in the next video. But for now, the sun's turning again. You are deeply loved and appreciated and seen.